Welcome back to the show. Today, I want to talk about something almost everyone experiences, but very few of us admit it out loud. That quiet, heavy feeling of not belonging. Maybe you felt it walking into a room full of strangers. Maybe you felt it among friends. Maybe you've even felt it in your own family. That moment when you think, everyone else seems to know who they are. Why don't I? If that's you, stay with me. You're not alone in this. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that other people are confident, secure, and effortlessly connected, while we're the odd one out. But here's the truth. Most people are just as unsure as you are. They're just better at hiding it. Belonging isn't about fitting into a mold. It's not about being the loudest, the funniest, or the most impressive person in the room. It's about being seen, really seen for who you are. And that kind of belonging doesn't come from performing. It comes from honesty. Feeling like you don't belong can come from many places. Growing up in an environment where you had to adapt constantly, or being different in ways that others didn't understand. Carrying old stories about yourself that no longer serve you. And entering new phases of life where your identity is shifting. Sometimes the feeling isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. Sometimes it's a sign that you're growing beyond the spaces you used to fit into. Here's something we don't talk about enough. Belonging starts with belonging to yourself. When you stop apologizing for who you are, your quirks, your softness, your intensity, your dreams, you naturally attract people who resonate with you. You don't need to shrink to fit in. You don't need to perform to be accepted. You don't need to be less or more of anything. You just need to be real. There's something I want to say clearly, because it sits at the center of everything we're talking about today. You can't feel like you belong anywhere until you feel like you belong to yourself. We spend so much of our lives trying to earn belonging from the outside, from groups, from relationships, from achievements, from approval. But belonging that depends on other people's reactions is fragile. It shifts. It disappears. It keeps you chasing. Real belonging, the kind that stays, begins when you stop abandoning yourself. When you choose to stand with yourself, even when you feel awkward. When you choose to trust your voice, even when it shakes. When you choose to stay on your own side, even when you feel different or misunderstood. That's the moment everything changes. Because when you belong to yourself, you stop forcing yourself into spaces that drain you. You stop apologizing for your depth, your softness, your intensity. You stop negotiating your worth. And you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. And suddenly, the world feels less threatening. You're no longer waiting for permission to exist. You're no longer auditioning for acceptance. You're simply showing up as you. And here's the beautiful part. When you stand in that kind of self-belonging, the right people recognize you instantly. They're drawn to the honesty, the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are. You don't have to fight for a seat at the table anymore. You bring your own chair. Here are a few gentle practices that help when you feel disconnected. Name the feeling instead of fighting it. I feel out of place right now. That honesty alone can soften the edges. Seek out spaces where your values match the room. Belonging isn't about being liked everywhere. It's about finding the places where you don't have to explain yourself. Let yourself be seen in small ways. Share a thought. Ask a question. Tell a story. Tiny moments of authenticity build connection. Remember that belonging is a process, not a destination. It grows slowly through repetition, trust, and presence. If you're listening to this and thinking, I still don't know where I belong, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not the only one. You are in the middle of becoming, and belonging often shows up exactly there, in the messy, uncertain, beautifully human in between. Thanks for being here with me today. And if no one has told you this in a while, there is a space for you in this world, exactly as you are.